Hi folks! So what bugs me about Automobilista 2 by Reason Studios and all of the other sims as well is the bugs. They bug me because you make plans to do something, you get really excited about it, I've got this great idea, it's going to be fantastic, and then halfway through you get stopped in your tracks by a bug which you just can't get past because it's a game or experience breaking problem. So I found this, and I did wonder after this last complimentary update if that would be fixed. So I've gone in today and tried to see if it was fixed, and to my disappointment it hasn't done. And I want Automobilista 2 to succeed just like I do all of the sims and get better. So I thought, it's my responsibility to exemplify this, show what it is. So I'm going to make a bug report today on the forums there, but just to show you guys what it is and give you a warning, especially if you're thinking of doing custom championships. Because what I wanted to do, I wanted to take all of the British tracks like Donington, Brands Hatch, Silverstone, Alton Park, Cadwell, and make a custom championship, because we do have this wonderful custom championship feature in there now, but I haven't started on that yet because I'm not going to be able to, because I wanted to do it with the Ginettas, because I see a lot of the Ginetta racing here on Motorsport UK on the television late at night, and I thought the F3s as well would be fun. But I found this with both the Ginetta G40 Cup, and this has happened at Alton Park and Donington. This is what I found so far. And what it is that if you set up a race like I've done here, so I've got a race set up here, it's 10 minutes, and it's going to have changing weather. We're going to go from dry to wet. And I've synced the weather to the race. So I'm not sure where this bug lies, because it doesn't happen if I'm just doing a normal test session or if I'm in the dry. It seems to be that wet weather change, and I don't know if it maybe it's if I turned off sync to race it wouldn't happen if there's a bug there or something. But you get into the pits to change your tyres and the car goes crazy. It's like it's not even like it's gone onto ice. It's like there's suddenly no correlation between the tyres and the car. Anyway, don't worry, this isn't going to be, I'm not going to even do this whole 10-minute race. I'm just going to drive around till it starts raining and drive the car into the pits. But basically I cannot, until this bug has been sorted out, do this. And you, if you wanted to do the same thing, you wouldn't be able to set up or even have just a normal race with these cars at this track. So here we go. So I'm going to select my pit strategy for just tyre change, which is, I've already set that up, so I don't want any fuel, just want to change the tyres. And let's get out there. Whilst, before we get to the issue, I must say, everything's just, there are so many amazing things after this last update. The last couple of videos I've made haven't, well, especially the last one, didn't even have a point to it. I just decided to start recording when I was in an online race because I was having such a good day with this. These cars feel so good at the moment, and these cars have had their issues as development's gone on, but they're feeling so good. Oh, there's a car off there on the left, and oh, second gear, should have stayed in third. Anyway, they're feeling absolutely great now. These are really sort of reminding me of some of the lower powered Tatuses in R Factor 2. And the AI are just absolutely superb now, just really, really good. I'm having some amazing racing with these guys, and especially now I'm so happy I can, another thing I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm really happy that I can now use the AI in a session with changing weather, because they don't suddenly completely lose their speed and driving ability when it starts to rain. Now they're pretty consistent, and so, I'm really chuffed about that, because I do like utilising the changing weather. And, I mean, that's just got fantastic with the fact that it can totally catch you out when you're, changing your racing line to try and stay, if you've got a drying line on a wet track, but it's been raining really heavily. Oh, another two cars. Well, one's pitting, one was obviously behind the other car. Anyway, you change your line to stay on the dry area, but then, especially, and I've had this when I've been racing at night when visibility's low, all of a sudden you don't see it till it's too late. There's a huge puddle across the middle of the road, and you've not accounted for that. And it really does make, once this happens to you, you really do, when it starts to rain, you really do start to think about stuff like that and think, oh, I better be cautious because there may be an unexpected obstacle, you know, like you get in real life, like a big puddle. And it makes it feel like, you know, if you were driving along on a normal road and in a normal car, it started to rain and you knew there were puddles everywhere, you'd be more cautious. It's brilliant. The experience is great. Anyway, we're on now, you know, our second lap, and we should see the weather start to change within this next lap, I think. Okay, I'm already noticing that the colours have just gone slightly darker, like the sky's darkened up, and there we go, look. The sky is changing ever so slightly. It's almost undetectable, but it's just as the weather starts to change. You've got a car come out of the pits there. And immediately he's going to overtake me because I got that completely wrong. He's actually just not taking account of me being on the outside of the track there. After me going on about how good the AI is, they still do make mistakes though. You know, they're not perfect. Nothing's perfect. And there we go. I think, you know, got a few more clouds in the sky now, and I think, yeah, there's a spot of rain on my visor. And I'm going to do this lap and then do one more, so to let the track get properly wet. And you're going to see what I mean. And there, look, the sky's really changing now. Visually, this game is superb, and the sounds as well, the new curb sounds are sounding great. Not so sure about the sound of this car, never been sure about the sound of this car, but then again, going back to my making reference of it being similar to the Tatus and the R Factor 2, they sound a bit like this as well. I think maybe, you know, based on the real cars, it's just what these engines sound like. When I say not sure, it's just not a sound I particularly like. It's not a gurgling V8, is it? Anyway, so here we go. Right, the rain is coming down. I'm going to start, well, I'm going to sync to race. So, grip is going to, I can already feel the grip going. The loss of grip as well, in the wet, especially on slick tyres, has become so much more of a, kind of like an analogue progression, you know. Used to be a bit on-off. Now it's much more gradual. And yeah, the rain's really coming down now. I'm feeling the car start to move around underneath me there. So I'm going to schedule a pit stop. There we go. And you're going to see what I mean now. And as I said, I will make a... Oh! Really slippery. The AI is slowing down in front of me. I'm slowing down. Decided to start changing up into higher gears earlier just to make sure I don't accelerate too hard and spin the back end around. There we go. And we're coming round the last two hairpins, and I think I'm going to leave it in third gear to accelerate out of this corner. Okay, here we go. So this is the bug, folks. I'm going to stick my pit speed limiter on. Right, now watch what happens as I drive into the pits. So I'm going real, I'm going to slow down at a real low speed as well to exemplify this is, look, there we go, look at that. There we go. Okay, my steering inputs were doing nothing there. And I lost all semblance of any connection between the road and the car. I'm going to try and get into the pits once again. it seems to be the further I go to the left here. Okay, I'll just look at that. Okay, can you see that now? There's been better examples where I've gone in and before I've got to the pit space, I've slowed down really slow, and before I get to the pit, before it sort of slots you in there to the pit space, the car starts spinning around, literally just spinning around like a top, and you've come in there at 3 miles an hour, the car's going just spinning around like it's on a plinth or something. I don't know about getting out. I've not tried getting out. Okay, it's like the steering's completely disconnected from the car, and now I've got severe damage from going into the pits. So that's the bug. For anyone that didn't catch that, or anyone that wants to see it again, I mean, you can go and leave the video now if you like. That's you don't really need to watch anymore. But just to show you that once again, I'll do it again. We'll see what kind of result we get this time. Just to show that it is a consistent bug. It's not one that sort of happens every now and then, doesn't happen other times. Like I said, I've tried this at Alton Park as well, pitting with the Ginetta G40 Cup car, and yeah, you know, in fact, I mentioned it. This bug's, at least I know this with the Ginettas. When I made an older video when the Ginetta G40 Cup came out, I did a video, and I drove it to the pits, and it was the first time it had ever happened to me, and I went, "What the hell's going on?" You know, it's like the car's suddenly been picked up by the hand of God and spun round like a carousel, you know. So it is a bug that's been there seemingly for quite a while, and I think it's a serious bug, needs sorting out. So Reza, if you could please, that would be awesome. And they have been pretty good at finding bugs, but you know, and fixing them. The development curve is just so steep, it's unreal. But well, whilst we wait for the weather to change and get around there, oh, I've gone a little bit too much over the curbs there. Let's see if we can actually race these AI. Let's try and make a couple of places. I love the progressive sound of your braking as well. Look at that, I've completely dived into that corner and cut in, and still they've managed to accommodate that and miss me with it. They're now going to come back at me, I'm sure. See if we can get around on the outside. Sliding a little bit. And yeah, they've taken back the place. I've got the red car behind me going for the overtake. Another thing about racing the AI, which I keep mentioning in videos as well, is that the AI in Automobilista 2 will slipstream you. They use that, they'll slipstream each other. I absolutely love that. And this red car behind us, he's just on our outside. I think we may have touched tyres there. I think they could work on the crash sounds, because sometimes when you rub another car's tyres, you'll get that breaking glass kind of sound, which seems like a default sort of crash sound. If they could bring more variability to the sounds of a crash, depending on which parts of the car you hear or how hard the crash is, because at the moment you just get that sort of breaking glass sound, and it seems to be like that default one sound for every crash. So you might just scrape another car and you'll get that sound. You might hit it head on and obliterate the car and you'll get that sound. So more variability in the crash sounds would be good, but it's nice to have them, because in R Factor 2 at the moment as it stands, especially racing the GT cars, you don't seem to get any sound at all when you hit another car, in quite a lot of instances, which is a bit off-putting. And I still do want to do a video on Sebring R Factor 2 as well. AI off at that corner again. It does seem like a popular corner for the AI to come off at, but in the last try round here just now, there was about 3 cars came off down there, so it's different every time. Just one this time. So we go down through the S's, see how they're all dealing. Oh, I've used way too much curb there. Used a lot of curb there as well. Weather's starting to change now. I do love the way these cars feel now. It's so much more what you'd expect. And the force feedback is, oh, it's really good. Really good. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm going to do one more lap because as I want to make it the same as the first try, just to be fair and scientific about these things. You know, I want the track to be as wet as it was last time. So I'll do one more lap and we'll pull into the pits. And this time maybe we'll see if the car does the whole sort of spinning like a top doing 360s on the spot. It's really weird. Love these weather changes. Also, when you sync to race, you may think the weather changes are a bit exaggerated. They are going to be, because obviously if you sync to race and you're only doing a 10-minute race and the weather changes like this, it's a bit over exaggerated. But then for my job working on a river, I have seen, you know, it be sunny 1 minute, then rain come down like this for the next 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes later everything's dry again. When this, you know, you do get that in real life, so I suppose there's room for argument on how realistic or not it is. But anyway, and the spray coming off the back of the cars, they're changing, you know, your visibility. It's a hell of a thing. Gonna use some really gradual throttle there to get out of the corner. And look, these AI, you know, they're in the wet, they're slowing down as much as I'm slowing down to compensate for being on slick tyres on a totally wet track, but they're so much better than, you know, I used to just not use changing weather, because if the weather changed I'd instantly won the race, because they just completely couldn't cope with the wet. Much better now. So schedule our pit stop. I've done that a bit late this time. Slick tyres, no good in this wet weather. Right, so it's got a pit speed limit. Right, I'm going to slow right down, and let's pull onto this stuff. And it hasn't spun me round this time. I've had it's just literally gone and spun round. But you see how I pulled in the left and I was turning, and it's completely unresponsive. Anyway, that's the bug report. I'm now going to go and put that on the forums. I hope Rita can sort it out, because I really want to do this custom championship. Other than that, really enjoying this. Really enjoying this sim. It just gets better and better. Anyway, cheers for watching. I hope that's been useful.